one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it, because you can.
Because it's who you are? And you've always been?
All right, guys, so NorCal Cop Watch made a video this morning. And look, I'm not attacking the guy, okay? I have nothing against him. I just want to correct something. I'll put a link to his whole video. It's like 30 minutes. In the description box, you can go down, you can watch the whole video and see what he said. But towards the end of it, he says that, you know, Penal Code 148G trumps 148A. This is what he says.
And I pled not guilty to the charges of 148A, resisting, delaying, and obstructing an investigation, because 148G trumps 148A. I did not break a law. There was no law being broken. I just laid out the facts for you guys.
Well, that's not entirely true. Not entirely true. So Penal Code 148, the whole 148, Penal Code, California Penal Code 148, shows amended by stats in 2015, Chapter 177, Section 2, State Bill 411. Remember, State Bill 411 came out. That's where 148G came from. Effective January 1st, 2016. That's when 148 subsection G came into effect. So I'm going to read you real quick 148. Now, he's saying 148G trumps 148A. I'm going to contest that. I don't think it does, but here we go. 148A. Every person who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs any public officer, peace officer, emergency medical technician, as defined in Division 2.5 of this section of the Health and Safety Code, in the discharge or attempt to discharge any duty of his or her office or employment when no other punishment is prescribed, shall be punished by a fine of the not exceeding $1,000 or up to a year in jail. Now, when they say who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs, the delay and obstruct part is the bigger one, where if I'm standing far enough back to I'm not obstructing you, you're able to do what you got to do. Don't worry about me. And I'm not delaying you from what you're doing, then I'm not violating 148A. And for you to try to say I am, you are violating 148A by misinterpreting it. And cops say, well, we can't know every code. Well, then you need to learn. Okay? Otherwise, you're incompetent. E. And again, it talks about 148E, again, talks about the removal of a firearm or weapon. So basically, if the cop goes to arrest you and you try to pull his gun out, you're violating 148B or C or D or E. Now, 148F. This section shall not apply if the public officer, peace officer, or emergency medical technician is disarmed while engaged in a criminal act. Let's say somebody's handcuffed and the cop puts a gun to his head and goes, you're going to tell me, you know, if you grab the cop and pull his gun out of his hand, you could fall under 148F, where he was committing a criminal act, gun to the head of a handcuffed guy, and you saved his life or what have you. 148G. Now we're going to get to, I went through 148F intentionally to let you know what the different subsections were. So basically B through E kind of describes the taking of or removing of a firearm or weapon from a peace officer while they're trying to do their duty. F says if they're engaged in a criminal act, 148A through E does not apply. You're okay there. 148G. Now, he said 148G trumps every person who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs any public officer, peace officer, or emergency medical technician in the discharge or attempt to discharge any duty of his or her office or employment shall be punished. Yada, yada. 148G. The fact that a person takes a photograph or makes an audio or video recording of a public officer, peace officer, while the officer is in a public place, or the person taking the photograph or making the recording is in a place he or she has the right to be, like on a sidewalk or in a public park, does not constitute in and of itself a violation of subdivision A, nor does it constitute reasonable suspicion to detain the person or probable cause to arrest the person. So he's saying 148G says you can just go up anywhere and just start recording them. However, in the video, and you can click the link below to watch his whole video, he replays his arrest. If you walk right up behind a police officer with your camera, you could be obstructing them, because if they have to step back or if they have to move around on the sidewalk, if you're right there, they got to move around you. You're basically an obstruction that they have to go around. So that's why you step back 20, 30, 40 feet. Okay? So if you're right up on them, yeah, you're obstructing. I'm sorry. Call me a bootlicker if you want, but the facts are the facts. If I have to step around you in my workspace, then you're obstructing me from working in my workspace. So 148G does not trump 148A, but rather 148G says if you're photographing, the officer can't say, hey, you're being very suspicious and I have to keep my eye on you. You say, no, the fact that I'm standing here video recording you in a public space, you're in a public space, that cannot be deemed a suspicious activity. So you better come up with something else. You don't have to watch me. I'm not, just because I'm video recording you, that's not, you don't have the right to deem that a suspicious act under subsection G. Go back to work, do your thing, don't worry about me, do what you gotta do, stop being paranoid. That's what you say. I digress. Let's get back to this one. So, he's saying that 148G trumps 148A. It does not. It does not violate 148A. It simply says they can't use your video or photography alone as a suspicious activity in which to move you. It has to be something else. And when I talk about equity, I'm talking about the governmental interest. So a traffic stop's here. You're 50 feet away. The cop says, you know what? I want you to go back farther because you're obstructing me. You say, what is your governmental interest for this? Your car stop's over there. You're working over there. Your case is over there. What is the governmental interest or the investigation that you need to conduct over here? Well, no, but I have to watch you. No, 148G says I can't be suspicious just by videoing you. So go back to work. That's what I mean when I say equity or governmental interest. Why do you need this space when you're way over there working? Well, because I have to watch you. You don't have to watch me. 148G says I'm not suspicious. I'm just videoing. So 148G doesn't trump 148A. If you get too close, yeah, you're obstructing. Back up. Okay, I'm back here now. I'm not obstructing you. You have no governmental interest here because you're working over there. Go back to work. That's what that equity is. Guys, have any questions, please comment. I'll try to keep you up to date. Yes, I will.